the 200-second soundbite, presented by the General Leadership Foundation.
Hello and welcome to the General Leadership Foundation. Thank you for joining us for this 200-second soundbite. Picture the scene. In a remote part of Afghanistan near the mountainous border with Pakistan, helicopters carrying dozens of elite Army Rangers race over the rugged landscape. Their target on this high-risk mission is an insurgent compound. It is broad daylight, and the Rangers know the insurgents are heavily armed. But it's considered a risk worth taking, as reliable intelligence sources indicate a top al-Qaeda commander is in that compound. Within a matter of minutes, the helicopters touch down, and the Rangers immediately come under fire. One of the American soldiers who emerged from the helicopter that day was Staff Sergeant Leroy Petrie. Seeking cover, Petrie and another soldier pushed headlong into a courtyard with high mud walls, and that's when the enemy opened up with their AK-47 assault rifles. Leroy's hit in both legs. He's bleeding badly, but he summons his strength to lead the other Ranger to cover. He radios for support while simultaneously hurling a grenade at the enemy, providing cover to a third Ranger who rushes to their aid. Suddenly, an enemy grenade explodes nearby, wounding Leroy's two comrades, and then a second grenade lands, this time only a few feet away. At this point, every human impulse would tell a person to turn and run away. After all, every soldier is trained to seek cover. That's what Sergeant Leroy Petrie could have done. Instead, this 28-year-old man with his whole life ahead of him, this husband and father of four, did something extraordinary. He lunged forward toward the live grenade. He picked it up, cocked his arm to throw it back at the enemy, and it exploded, just as it left his hand. With that selfless act, Leroy saved his two Ranger brothers, but his valor came with a price. The force of the blast took Leroy's right hand. Shrapnel riddled his body. Said one of his teammates later, "I had never seen someone hurt so badly." Even his combat-tested, battle-hardened fellow Rangers were amazed at what Leroy did next. Despite his grievous wounds, he remained calm, actually putting on his own tourniquet. He then continued to lead, directing his team, giving orders, even directing the medics on how to treat his own wounds. When the fight was over and victory achieved, Leroy lay quietly in a stretcher as he was loaded into a helicopter. Before the helicopter lifted off, one of his teammates ran over to shake Leroy's only remaining hand. "That was the first time I shook the hand of someone who I consider to be a true American hero," that Ranger said. Leroy Petrie showed that true heroes still exist and that they're closer than you think. Sociologist Ernest Becker writes, "Man will lay down his life for his country, his society, his family. He will choose to throw himself on a grenade to save his comrades. He is capable of the highest generosity and self-sacrifice. But he has to feel and believe that what he is doing is truly heroic, timeless, and supremely meaningful." Becker reminds us that achieving true happiness and satisfaction in and through our lives demands we pursue goals that are relevant, honorable, and extend above and beyond ourselves. Life cannot be merely about us. If we want to thrive as citizens and as a nation, we must get back to basics. We must rediscover within ourselves that the most powerful tool we have to begin improving things in our surroundings is the example of how we live our lives. It's just that simple. So my advice to you is simple. Choose your heroes and role models wisely, and let them lift you to heights you would not otherwise rise to on your own. Thank you for joining us for the 200-second soundbite. We look forward to visiting with you again.
Thank you for connecting with the General Leadership Foundation. Please register at generalleadership.com.